Canadian judge recently halted the deportation of a non-binary American citizen. The federal judge said that Angel Jekyll can stay in Canada while their case is being reviewed based on the current conditions for LGBTQ people in the U.S.
Yes, the only non-binaries that are allowed to stay in America are the
ones on a barista visa.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Normal Gays React video where we take on LGBT insanity from the perspective of gay guys who haven't lost our minds just yet. I'm Brad Polumbo here with Clarkson Lawson. So, Clarkson, how do you feel about non-binary refugees who fled to Canada? Because apparently that's a thing now.
I am all for it. I'm all for it. And I hope that when we get our own version of TikTok, or it stops at that border, so then I can stop getting inundated with them on mine.
Oh my gosh. So we need a non-binary exchange program. Like, we will send Canada all the non-binaries and they can send us their doctors and engineers. We'll do like a 1-for-1 swap.
No, I'll take their, I say, let's take their real trans people with dysphoria, and then they can take our non-binaries who are chronically online.
Wait, but there's one reason I can't get on board with that.
Why?
My lattes. That is the only time I'm using your non-binary pronouns, is when you're making me that oat milk latte, because that shit is fire, and the number of pins with different pronouns directly corresponds to the quality of the latte.
We could give them a special visa for
yes, the only non-binaries that are allowed to stay in America are the
ones on a barista visa. Perfect.
Anyway, apparently America is such an unsafe place for non-binaries that they are now being granted temporary asylum status by Canadian courts. Let's listen to this video summing up the situation.
A Canadian judge recently halted the deportation of a non-binary American citizen in what could be a precedent-setting case in Canada. The federal judge said that Angel Jekyll can stay in Canada while their case is being reviewed based on the current conditions for LGBTQ people in the U.S. This is the first ruling of this kind that we have seen come out of Canada, and it's especially important for people who may consider seeking asylum in Canada because of their gender identification or sexuality. Angel was facing deportations for overstaying their visit in Canada, and the judge is saying that conditions in America have declined such that they need to at least consider that the country is unsafe and it's not safe enough to return to while they consider their case. This is the first legal indication from another country that LGBTQ people in the U.S. indeed have a higher risk of persecution. While I wouldn't call the fact that we are even here discussing this a win, it does give us a glimmer of hope that other countries are starting to see what's going on.
What's going on? What is it?
The persecution of non-binaries.
Also, don't lump me in with that. What do you mean? I'm fine. I live in Florida. Like, what? This is crazy.
I'm doing amazing, actually.
But I've never been better.
I'm struggling to take this woman seriously. Like, she's so serious about this, and this shit is so funny to me.
It's just because
what do you mean? Non-binaries getting asylum? What are they, fucking religious persecuted people fleeing from the Middle East? Like, this is diabolical. Also, I love how even Canada has a border and enforces it now, and these people are like, oh.
Yeah, no, they're enforcing their border. It's just the amount of privilege Western societies have to even just utter the words oppression when it comes to non-binary people in America. Or, I mean, you can make an argument more for like trans stuff, I guess, for some things, but it's just so diluted. I don't even know.
Non-binary is literally just a haircut.
It's a personality. It's literally a self-diagnosed personality that you think is a little bit different. You're a little quirky. Uh-oh. You're quirky in America? I don't know what's going to happen. They might tell you to get a job on something. I don't know.
Well, that would be diabolical. That would be oppression of the highest order for a non-binary person, except for the part-time baristas.
And honestly, like I've said this before, I support non-binary if you choose to do that as like a spiritual thing, like you believe your soul has masculine and feminine. I've came across that once. I always leave space for that. But the majority of the time, it's people who just are a little bit androgynous and want attention.
So I don't support non-binary in any form. I stand on business against that community. I restate my position they are not valid. However, am totally fine with people being gender non-conforming, being, what we would call androgynous, people who are like feminine males or masculine females. I can't and will never subscribe because I don't believe in like old-fashioned, almost like you could call them right wing or religious right gender stereotypes. So I will just never accept that somebody can, because they're not girly, that I'm not a woman or I'm not a man. I'm just this third thing. One, your biology is unchanged. There's only two sexes. It's not a spectrum. Even intersex people, which is a tiny, tiny percent, almost all can be either categorized as male or female. They just have differences of sexual development. But everyone's sex is male or female. So non-binary in terms of your sex is not a thing. Anyway, so non-binary when it comes to sex is not a thing, but one of the only examples that the non-binary community can point to say they're being oppressed or their rights are being violated is that the Trump administration is rolling back policies where where it says sex on their government documents, they were allowed to put an X for non-binary, which is literally lying. Like it's literally putting a factually untrue statement on your government documents. Prohibiting that does not make a refugee. Like, what are we even doing?
If having that on your driver's license causes you that much turmoil, you have other problems. Like that is insane. That not having an X on your driver's license. And I know that this has changed and the activists have changed the fact that sex and gender they used to say they were separate. Now they're saying sex is a spectrum, but I think they had a stronger case when they were saying that sex was inherent and gender was separate, because then they were kind of like isolating gender as a part of personality and the way you present, whereas sex was based off of biological fact. I think if they moved back to that, they might be able to slow the backlash a bit. Like your sex on your ID is your biological sex, and it should be that.
Biology matters. It's real and it is relevant.
Correct. It also influences behavior. So to make the argument that it's separate, like if I shoot myself up with a bunch of estrogen, I will probably exhibit more feminine traits because our biology influences the way we act. So to make this case that everything's a spectrum, none of it's connected, but then it's all connected at the same time, it's just, honestly, I think it's deliberate to confuse people so much that they don't question it.
Oh yeah, and what would happen if you shot yourself up with a bunch of testosterone, Clarkson? Oh wait, and out?
This would be. Maybe the voice will get a little bit deeper. I don't know. I'll try again.
All right. Well, you guys let us know. Will you be supporting Canadian illegal immigrants who don't want to go back to America because they say that they are in danger for being non-binary? Have you noticed the non-binary Holocaust going on here in the United States? Let us know in the comments. Do make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. Do hit that like button while you're at it. Subscribe to Clarkson's channel as well, linked in the description. And we'll be back with more normal gays content real soon.